Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to answer which is the better growth stock to buy. Is it Palo Alto Network stock or is it SentinelOne stock? I'm going to compare these two growth stocks on 4 financial metrics and then answer which one is the better buy, starting with revenue growth. So let's get right into it. These figures show SentinelOne way ahead of Palo Alto Networks in terms of revenue growth. SentinelOne growing 70% quarter over the previous quarter and way above the 24% of Palo Alto Networks. Although I will say SentinelOne's revenue growth has been decelerating significantly. If it continues on this pace, it will be closing the gap with Palo Alto Networks in terms of revenue growth. The next metric I wanted to highlight was cash flow from operations to sales. And in this metric, Palo Alto Networks flips the script here and takes the huge advantage, demonstrating 44.5% in cash flow from operations to sales, which is an excellent figure compared to negative 36% for SentinelOne. Although I will note that SentinelOne is moving in the right direction, demonstrating phenomenal progress, although nowhere near Palo Alto Networks in terms of cash flow from operations to sales. The next metric I wanted to show is the operating profit margin. And again, Palo Alto Networks showing its advantage here with an operating profit margin in the trailing 12 months of 2.3%, way ahead of SentinelOne's negative 89.6% operating profit margin. But again, I will highlight that SentinelOne is moving in the right direction, demonstrating economies in scale. As it grows its revenue, it shrinks those losses on the bottom line, and if it continues at this rate, it will only be a matter of time before SentinelOne becomes profitable, although that is no certainty. It needs to keep this up. Finally, I wanted to compare these two excellent growth stocks on valuation, and an interesting flip happened here with SentinelOne and Palo Alto Networks. For much of 2022, SentinelOne stock was trading more expensively on a forward price to sales ratio compared to Palo Alto Networks. But in 2023, that's flipped here in the last month or two, where now Palo Alto Networks is trading at a more expensive price to sales of 9 compared to the forward price to sales of 5.256 of SentinelOne. So, if I had to pick one of these two growth stocks to buy today, I would pick Palo Alto Networks. I like that it's demonstrated strong cash flow from operations to sales, and it's growing revenue at a healthy rate above 20%. I would prefer if SentinelOne could manage the business to slow down the revenue growth and focus more on profitability, and then can focus again on accelerating growth once it gets its business closer to profitability, since that's something that is more important now as the cost of capital has increased. It's more expensive to borrow money, it's more expensive to sell your shares. Investors require a greater return on capital, and so profitability is more important now than it was 2 years ago when the cost of capital was so much lower. So for all those reasons, I would prefer Palo Alto Network stock right now. But that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.